In terms of our Florida agencies, do you anticipate any of our agencies, including law enforcement, having to pick up any slack if it continues?
Well, so first of all, we're running. Florida's doing what Florida does, and fortunately for us, we've always taken the posture that we're going to take care of our own business. If there's abilities to draw down support from the feds to supplement, we obviously are going to do what's there because Floridians pay federal taxes, but especially under Biden, I didn't expect any support, right? And so we were doing all this stuff. And so I don't know if there's going to be any. I will tell you, because people were asking me about the illegal immigration, are they going to stop helping? Because, we're helping deliver people here illegally to the feds and ICE and DHS. And that's continuing. And they've got a great cadence, and as people come in illegally that are detained and processed, they are removed from Florida very quickly now, and so it's been really, really positive. So that's continuing. I haven't seen any change in any of that, and we're going to keep that mission going. I have mentioned in the past that we are very nimble in how we do this, and so you have the Panhandle. It's hard. It was very hard for them to bring to South Florida for processing. We did do Baker County, which is kind of by Jacksonville, and that's been beneficial. But wouldn't it be good to have a Panhandle thing? So that's happening. So that's underway. There'll be an announcement on that relatively shortly. And so that means Northwest Florida, if you have illegal aliens, they can just be processed right here in Northwest Florida, and then they'll be able to be taken by the feds. So that's going to continue going on. And I will just say this, because I see what's going on in Chicago with the posturing of this governor and this mayor. We were under 4 years of Biden, he opened the border. We were trying to fight back. I sent some of our folks to Texas to help fortify the border. We did major legislation in Florida, some of which the court said, well, you can't do that. That's a federal function. Because we're saying if you come to the state illegally, that's a crime. And we wanted to be able to hold. So there were certain things they said, and that was kind of the rejoinder. Oh, this is federal. You can't interfere. All we were trying to do was help fulfill what the statutes say in U.S. law. So that was their position. Now you have the federal government that's actually enforcing what the laws say. And then the same people that said it's federal, that we shouldn't interfere, they're trying to interfere by trying to sabotage enforcement. In places like they said, oh, don't help anybody with DHS. I mean, you see what some of these groups are doing. They're putting a target on the back of these officers, and they're trying to go to tax against them. And I could tell you in Florida, we have zero tolerance for that. And I don't even need to speak for these sheriffs, because I know if there was some type of plot to target ICE agents in their counties, they would be helping disrupt that. Are you kidding me? You're going to tell people to not do that, to not step up and help, especially when people's lives are at risk, all because of political agenda and ideology and catering, to the very, very far left. And so Chicago's got a lot of problems. You know how I know? Because every time they do something stupid there, more people move here. Honestly, I want them to fix Chicago. We have enough people that have come. But I can tell you, anytime when this mayor got elected, I saw a flood of new people go to Naples and Southwest Florida. And they talk about it. What was the city used to be? Because it used to be one of the great cities anywhere. And what's happened now, there's a lot of reasons, but I'd say the most significant one was just the decline of public safety and the decline of supporting law enforcement, holding criminals accountable. The governor there did a bill to have no cash bail. Well, first of all, how does that protect the public? You have somebody commits a felony. They come in, they get arraigned, and then they just get put right back on the street. Well, guess what? They're going to likely commit more crimes. And you end up with a situation where the public's at greater risk, but then you have these police officers who have to get in dicey situations maybe to apprehend a felon. and then the guy gets put back on the street, they may have to do the same thing again for another crime. So it's like a thankless thing, but that's the types of policies that they pursue. So I think what's happening in some of these jurisdictions around the country to not only turn a blind eye, but at least tacitly approve of what's being done to target ICE, I think is reprehensible. That is not the way you run a city or a state. You need to be upholding the rule of law. And it's interesting, they're mad that ICE is enforcing the law, and you've got some serious problems in Chicago with illegal immigration. I mean, massive gangs, massive drug trafficking, a lot of bad stuff. And so they're mad that ICE is enforcing. But what did they say when illegals were being bused to Chicago under Biden from Texas and these other places? Oh, they were whining about it. They didn't want that to happen. Well, you can't have it both ways. So what's going on, I think, is a big problem there. And I know the spillover effect in terms of everyone has a threshold, right? I mean, you have people, the thing about what I've seen just since I've been governor, particularly from COVID on, is, you know, people just picked up their lives, the family, you know, all this stuff, businesses, I mean, you name it, and just got out of Dodge. And a lot of it is because of the way some of these jurisdictions are governed, particularly with public safety. You know, you can have the best school system in the world. You could have the best business climate, businesses. If people don't feel safe, then all that stuff fades into the background. And it's like, okay, my family's not safe. I can't do this. I got to do something about it. So we'll see. But in terms of what the federal government's doing, we're going to do what we need to do to help the people of Florida, but I will tell you on the core missions that we're working with them on, such as combating illegal immigration and facilitating the removal of illegal aliens from our communities and from our country, that mission continues, and that mission will continue. And let me just say, this is theater what these guys are doing in Congress, okay? They do this theater all the time. You know, people like Chuck Schumer, I just think every time he comes to the microphone, support for term limits goes up another % or 2. I mean, it's like, come on. You know, why don't we try something different here? But he's scared of his far left flank, and so he's trying to do this. But I anticipate that it will likely probably drag on for a little longer, then eventually just come in for a landing. And I think most people will say, well, why did you guys even do that to begin with? And so we'll see what happens. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a good one.